look at the very peculiar puddle effect right here. Despite the fact that, well, relatively speaking, it does manage to take place in the forms of Hazy Maze Cave, but that's besides the point. Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is I am the one and only Maxi here, and I am, of course, back for yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario 3D All-Stars while we're playing through Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo Switch. Although, to be more specifically, based off from the likes of the Japanese 1997 exclusive Shindo edition. So, yeah, last time we basically managed to able to gather, well, not quite as much as the forms of those other Power Stars, I think. I think we did manage to collect about 11 of them, despite the fact that I did manage to have a hard time with the forms of the 100 coin Power Star mission for the likes of Hazy Maze Cave. But aside from that, I did this okay enough. So, yeah, today for this video is the fact that we're most able to, well, suffice to say, get some more Power Stars, and eventually, I think we're able to decide to complete one of those bunch of worlds. So here we go, on to Mission 3, Metalhead Mario Can Move. And, I don't think we can able to do it normally, because we need to able to find a secret course that it actually allows us to able to actually not only take on the forms of another one of those Castle Secret Star mission, but also able to actually access the green switch, which allows you to able to use, the metal power-up, so, or the metal cap, so, yeah, that's essentially what we're going to be doing for this point. And if you notice already is the fact that, yes, my lives counter has been reset back to the likes of 4, well, technically 5, if you want to count the forms of how the fact that when your life count goes to 0, this means you still got 1 chance left. So, first worth mentioning, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, just like in any other 3D Mario games up to this point, that basically that when your lives counter goes to 0, basically you still got 1 chance left. Well, I think it kind of does the same thing from the likes of the 3D Sonic games or something like that, from Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, and heck, even with the forms of Sonic Heroes and, I guess if you want to count Shadow the Hedgehog, and also applies for Sonic 06, but during the course of Sonic Unleashed or something like that, even though it has been a really long while since I actually did manage to play Sonic Unleashed from time to time, so hopefully I'll get around into that at some point, even though despite the fact that I have to replay my PlayStation 3 version again on Sonic Unleashed because I've lost my save data, so kind of sucks honestly, but luckily I still got my downloadable content stuff like DLC stages and stuff like that. Speaking of downloadable stuff though, I suppose I should probably explain about this as well. Today's day is of course the, what day is it today? I honestly have to admit, I totally forgot right away. Oh, today it is the, I would say today is the 12th of January today, in this case in 2022 today, so I think I might be right. Hold on, let me just double check. Yeah, it is the 12th of January today, in this case in 2022 today. So, not much else is going on at the moment, apart from the fact that, well, relatively speaking, that, by that time until whenever it's like, do you remember, guys, back in your forms within 2017, when if you managed able to watch the greatest presentation ever, which is, of course, the Nintendo Switch presentation 2017, that it did manage to reveal a whole bunch of Nintendo Switch titles, including Super Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is basically a port to the Wii U game, Mario Kart 8, as well as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and even especially noticeable with other titles as well, that did manage to able to eventually announce or eventually released in 2017. That was actually the greatest direct presentation. Well, let's just say the actual presentation itself, it looks really damn good. And in fact, that particular presentation is almost going to be 5 years old, which includes the announcement of the Super Mario Odyssey game, which, as a result though, that until when it gets to the point until this October, that basically that particular game will be, well, 5 years old, along with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and doing at some point on March, so including the actual Switch itself. So yeah, that's something worth noting for able to be looking forward to. So anyway, so now we've actually got our metal cap with us, so that means we can now able to activate the switch, which we just already activated, and from here we need to do a careful long jumps between those two different parts itself, and then if you do it very, very carefully, like I just did right there, then you should get a star no problem. So yeah, a relatively easy mission if you be careful for likely not to fall off to a hole or something. Mission 4, navigating the toxic maze. I almost said cave for some reason, but it's just more accurately like a maze. So yeah, because thankfully though, unlike in on Monday, that the commentary itself gets a bit awkward most of the time because I got myself the actual ulcer inside of my gum. But thankfully though, it's no longer an issue for this point today, so I can usually just try to speak a little bit more better. So, oh jeez, I keep on getting myself a bit of damage right there, assuming if I don't like ground pound or anything. But anyway, let's just go ahead and use the metal power up, so that way we can able to protect ourselves by, you know, not to get damaged by the forms of the toxic gas and stuff like that. So, and head on to there, and whenever we ride onto the elevator, then that's what the mission ends. So, yeah, for the most part, Hazy Maze Cave is pretty easy when you get the hang of it, except with the 100 coin Power Star mission. Although, honestly, I highly recommend you able to do the 100 coin Power Star mission specifically on the first mission because you have an easier time, but do not recommend it on the second mission though, just to be a forewarning. Mission 5, Amazing Emergency Exit. So, basically, it's exactly the same mission, or kind of like the exact same identical mission as the other one, except we're going on a different way. So, like, we still need to able to navigate for the toxic maze and stuff like that again, so, yeah, I guess there's not much else different about it, aside from the fact that we can able to, well, you know what I mean, doing the actual same exact routine as before. Well, usually we can able to get ourselves our metal cap power up with us, so hopefully that we are able to actually have no harm to it whatsoever. And another thing I just want to point out is the fact that we've only got about, I would say a week left, or no, actually kind of think about it, it was actually a month left until specifically, well, the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics is starting, and it looks like someone is playing Mario Party Superstars, which, still looking forward to able to doing that Let's Play, but of course that Ray the Flying Squirrel is still working on Mario Party 7, which at this point is the fact that he's already done 2 boards, including the longest lengthy part for the sake of Begonia Peak, most notably because of more events is happening. So, I'll explain more on that in a second. So, here we go on to the final mission, which is watch for rolling rocks in Hazy Maze Cave for the final time. So, well, what I meant to say is the fact that we'll go in and explore Hazy Maze Cave for the final time until we're able to move on to the next world. So, although before we move on to the next world though, we need to take care of the forms of other few worlds first for the sake of 100% everything for those worlds, because obviously since that we actually got the metal cap already, so that means we can now able to head back into Jolly Roger Bay for the final mission. And we need to get ourselves the final cap power-up in order to able to actually do the actual worlds completely. So, there we go. We basically managed to complete Hazy Maze Cave. So, not too shabby and not too complicated, except with the 100 coin Power Star mission. But, regardless of such though, I think we've almost at the halfway point in terms of trying to able to get ourselves the 100 coin Power Star itself for the sake of certain worlds throughout. So anyways, let's go and swim in here, and because of that though, we need to, well, you know those 2 pillars from the likes of those 2 pillars there? Well, we need to ground pound those until we're able to let the water sunk, and that way we can able to actually now explore another secret course, which is pretty easy to find. It's the fact that we need to go in now. Although, unlike the DS remake, basically we need to let Wario to able to break the actual, the black brick block, whilst in here, you can able to actually go there in any time, so even then, that's not that much of an issue, so... And of course, much like before, we still need to able to get those red coins, just like the forms of how it does on any other, power-up cap, courses, so... Because, we already done those, specifically, quite a few times, although, to be honest with you, that not every single portions I would like to discuss upon. Well, I've already mentioned about the fact that we only got about a month left until Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics is starting, so hopefully we should able to actually get some exciting sports to able to cover through. Although, that mind you, much like the forms of last year, there won't be any that much spectators. So, kind of a shame, honestly, because unlike in whoa! Jeez Louise, that was a close one. But anyway, because unlike the Rio 2016 and in the past, basically they have a lot of spectators, including the forms of a lot of audiences in the actual seats in the background. But it's just a shame they didn't seem to able to show up as much compared to the past. But hopefully by at some point in 2024, in Paris or something like that, in France Olympics, well, expecting it might be a bit better for the sake of spectators alike, but then again though, it's a bit too early to discuss upon 2024 because we're not exactly on that year yet. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and head back into the actual castle itself, and about to be able to actually head back into Jolly Roger Bay for the final time, and we can able to actually do the final mission there, and say applies to Big Boo's Hunt, and eventually, if we're done with those two particular worlds, then we can pretty much guarantee to move on to the next world. So, actually kind of thinking about it, since we actually did done one world so far, so relatively speaking, for the sake of the forms of this part, we can probably able to actually conclude, I would say full worlds, because as far as you already know, that actually I'll explain more now in a second. So here we go on to the final mission in Jolly Roger Bay, through the jet stream. And of course, it does need to require the metal cap power-up, so that maybe seems the case, because unlike any forms of how it does it on the DS remake, is the fact that you only have to use Wario in order to able to actually just to make this mission possible, because obviously his transformation, when he obtains the flower, basically he all becomes metal. And if we get into the forms of the final mission in Big Boo's Hut, which you probably already know already, then it does manage to require the vanish cap, so yeah, that might be something worth noting for. So anyway, another thing I just want to explain about this as well, that recently I've managed to able to actually got some of my games back, but this time only on the Nintendo Switch, and thankfully though, I did manage to have a lot more stuff to get for this point for the sake of my Nintendo Switch, because obviously I still managed to have myself the 256GB micro SD card, so that makes things a lot more manageable for the sake of certain stuff. So obviously that I can able to download certain stuff now, especially noticeable about the fact that, well, I'm probably not going to get that much stuff though, mainly because I'm still saving up for other titles, like I said this several times already, which I don't need to explain about this again. So, anyway, for certain games I actually got right now, which are the final few rest of the Shantae games. So yes, I've managed to finally got the rest of the Shantae games on the Nintendo Switch now. So because of that, because ever since in last year I've got Shantae for the Game Boy Color / Game Boy Advance as a port for additional download only game. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. No need to buy the expensive physical copy of the game. And also I've got Shantae, I want to say Risky's Revenge Director's Cut, which is basically like a console version of the DSiWare exclusive title. But anyways, Mission 6, Eye to Eye in a Secret Room. The final mission in Big Boo's Hut. So yeah, that's something we're expecting, so we need to able to get up there. In fact, let me just do something a little bit quickly and awesome at the same time. Long jump there, and there we go. No need to able to go through door to door or anything. I don't know if any forms of the original version of Super Mario 64 Let's Play that I somehow managed to able to actually, I think, relatively speaking, I think Mickey managed to able to did the normal route. So yeah, that's something might able to actually classify for mentioning that. So anyway, so, and along with that, I think that's pretty much about it when it comes to getting certain Shantae games for the sake of last year. Although, recently in 2022, I've now finally managed to able to get Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, and also Shantae Half Genie Hero, and finally with the forms of Shantae and the Seven Sorens. Which, by the way, for the sake of Shantae Half Genie Hero, I finally managed to able to actually access to every single downloadable content now. So, it's pretty cool, especially noticeable I managed to able to got those particular games, the Shantae games, with one exception, mind you. That have to be by the forms of both Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, and also Shantae Half Genie Hero, including DLC as well, were actually 50% off, which is really amazing all things considered. Mind you, I do need to pay full price of Shantae and the 7 Saurians, unfortunately, but it knows what it is for the most part, and also because the recent Shantae game, Shantae and the 7 Saurians, did manage to receive a free update, so mainly like adding more difficulties and stuff like that, and also some improvements here and there, so yeah, I thought it was worth mentioning. So anyway, so now we've actually got ourselves 50 power stars, like you already noticed, ever since what I've managed to fully complete Jolly Roger Bay. So this means, in addition to trying to able to move on to the 3rd floor, but also the next rabbit shows up, which meaning that we have to catch him again, but this time we get ourselves another power star, like you see right here. So that pretty much leads us to 52 power stars. So yeah, awesome and top notch at the same time. So anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to the next world, which appears to be very familiar, which is Lethal Lava Land. And the first mission we have is Boil the Big Bully. So this will be fun. And also it's one of the easiest and the shortest worlds in the game, at least in my opinion, or my experience anyway. Don't be a pushover. If anyone tries to shove you around, push back. It's 101 with a furry finish for the loser. Okay, roger that. Even though we've already known about this already, if for those of you ever watched my, another version of my Super Mario 64, actually, couldn't think about it, 3 versions of my Super Mario 64 Let's Plays, including the original N64 version, and the DS remake, and of course, this is the 3rd time we're going to be taking on Bully for the sake of the entire channel. So, yeah, because despite the fact that it's not exactly, well, the best way for noticing this, because it kind of feels like similar thing for the likes of Sonic Adventure for the HD ports of the game, that I do really wish if there's actually widescreen support though, but that's probably just me anyway. So, but it knows what it is. So, although I would like to able to actually just try to stretch out the screen a little bit better, but I have no words to able to figure it out. So, but I do know that some people attempt to do it just fine, but for some reason on my part, I have no idea how I can able to do this. So, that's maybe just me anyway. So, anyway, so that mission is pretty easy. So let's move on to the second mission, which is Bully the Bullies, which is basically the same thing as the first mission, except we need to go onto the different area, and also we need to take on these mini versions of those bullies, you know, with those ones over there that we saw. But we don't need to take them all down though, we need to take on some of them on the actual arena, so yeah, that might be something neat able to. Oh, jeez, I got caught by the forms that out of nowhere for that spewing fireball. But, oh well, whatever. Whatever, at least I'll take a hit anyway. So, oh yeah, I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this as well. Originally, I was expecting to try to mention something about the forms of the next new event that just recently came up, for the likes of the forms of Mario Kart Tour, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to wait for that until specifically on Friday, so hopefully I would able to mention more about it. So, anyway, so now we take down the actual, the big bully himself, and we can get ourselves a nice little power star with a nice little jump angle with that particular long jump. So yeah, that's pretty satisfying if you manage to pull that off. So anyway, so now we're done with that. Now we move on to the next mission, which is mission 3, 8-coin puzzle with 15 pieces. So I think this is one of the easiest red coin star missions in this whole entire Super Mario 64 experience, because obviously those red coins are not that far apart, although the only trickiest part is just the actual puzzle tiles can sometimes manage to able to move certain place else, so. But yeah, pretty easy mission when you get the hang of it, so. Whew, too easy. Piece of cake. So, I guess there's not much else I can honestly try to talk about, apart from the fact that I've already mentioned quite a few things for this point today, so. Anyways, mission 4, Red Heart Lock Rolling. So, in this case, we need to go to another section of this entire world by, trying to able to take, although there's actually multiple ways you can able to actually make your way to, the actual story itself. Like, for instance, goodness gracious. But anyway, enough about that distraction of getting burned every single second's notice. But anyways, let's hop onto that metal platform there, so that way we can able to have ourselves a bit of a ride going. And while at it though, is the fact that we need to dodge a lot of those fire spouts just managed to able to spew out. Ah, jeez. Okay, there we go. And then you can also just manage to take a skip of a long jump right there and getting burned at the same time, and that way you can make things a bit easier for you. But normally speaking, if you try to do it casually, then you can able to ride on that particular log, and then don't fall into the lava because you get burned a lot. So, Mission 5, hot-footed into the volcano, and because I'm going to be able to also tackle through the 100 coin power star mission as well, so I figure I'm also able to do both of those power stars into one. So, hopefully it won't have that much of an issue for the sake of time. So hopefully, assuming if we're able to actually completely done with some of those missions, like, you know, and also occasional one-ups I need to constantly need to get, because obviously that really... Although the good thing about the, oh goodness gracious, the camera almost get freaked out. But that's okay though, because we can grab another one-up right there. I got burned at the end, because I somehow accidentally got bashed into that particular wall from that particular arena, so, oh well. Alright, so we need to be very cautious here. So, I don't suppose I can able to mention about other things aside from the fact that when the next new tour just recently came up for Mario Kart Tour for the sake of today, but then again, I will mention more details about that during on Friday, so hopefully I should be able to mention more about it. So, although I was expecting if there was going to be a Direct at some point, or to be more specifically a Nintendo Direct at some point next month as well, maybe on February, because it always attempts to do that for most of any other, like, Nintendo Switch era, for the sake of the forms of, well, the actual presentations and stuff like that, where it just goes like a pretty obvious pattern from the sake of the forms of most recent years every now and then, so... But I digress. Oh, God! Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, speaking of that particular Nintendo Direct though, is the fact that one thing I totally forgot to mention about, ever since and by the end of that particular Let's Play of Donkey Kong Land, that, apparently that one thing I totally forgot to mention about, that the only another positive thing I can think about from last year in 2021, I'm very glad that the Nintendo Directs are returning. So because of that though, after that very lackluster 2020 year, although despite the fact that I was going to promise you guys not to mention that year ever again, but aside from all that stuff though, it's just the fact that, wow, from 2 years ago, the Direct system is actually a bit of a lackluster experience. Well, because obviously we all keep on getting is just, you know, more Direct minis and also partner showcases, which are very lackluster and disappointing at the same time. So I must admit though, that is extremely underwhelming, so... But that's probably just me. And I believe this pushes me back. Yeah, it pushes me back. Oh well, no big deal, but at least we can able to hopefully grab even more coins throughout. So, again, there's not much else I can talk about, because I've already explained about the fact that, well, I've now got the rest of the actual Shantae games now, because, well, I was expecting to be able to get them back on the PlayStation 4, but ultimately speaking, I think the Switch version is actually my cup of tea from my experience anyway. So speaking of such though, I'm very curious specifically until next month, on February, that I'm very curious to see what the actual, the sale records for the Nintendo Switch is actually going to be doing, like after the events of, at the end of an okay year, but as a result though, that we can able to see what happens during that time. I'm hoping that Mario Party Superstars will able to actually get onto the top 10 of the best-selling games records and stuff like that, because, well, obviously, if I've heard that Mario Party Superstars is doing super well, certainly a lot more received very well compared to the top 100 on the 3DS, because it's odd that usually, relatively speaking, although, again, well, it's all about speculations, of course, so, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. So, Yeah, and also I was really hoping that WarioWare Get It Together will also be on the actual list somewhere, but I don't know exactly how much sale records does it have. Although, mind you, the worst selling Wario game ever, it was probably have to be Game & Wario for the Wii U, mainly because it's on the Wii U to begin with, and also it looks nothing like the WarioWare game to me. But that's probably just me anyway, so... Oh, okay. Whew. Thanks for that wall jump, just managed to save my life. Even though that it almost feels a bit kind of finicky at points, especially noticeable whenever it's like, if you think you're about to be able to try to, you know, wall jump onto that specific wall, but not every single wall you can able to wall jump to. So, Mission 6, Elevator Tour in the Volcano. In this case, the final mission in Lethal Lava Land. So... And I can't even believe that we're actually going to be completing 4 worlds in this one video. So, yeah, that's actually pretty swell, I have to say. Even especially noticeable about the fact that it's actually pretty easy for the sake of certain missions. Although, mind you, there might be some that are considerably a bit tougher later on, which is to be expected. So, anyway, let's just go ahead and do this. Oh no, I think I failed this particular cool trick. Oh well, at least on the other hand though, since we still ended up in a volcano, so this means we get ourselves a glorious checkpoint respawn point. So, thanks for that. So, let's try this again, and I keep failing this like a lunatic. But, how the hell? Okay, whatever. We'll just grab some more coins anyway, just in case for health precautions there. Now let's see if I can able to do this just like this. Okay, there we go. Whew. Took a lot of effort for this. Whoa! What the hell? I somehow slid off. Okay. Alright. Fair point. Oh well, we'll do this the 3rd time, and hopefully we're not gonna make a similar mistakes as the other 2, so... I still didn't make it, because it's bad enough that I don't know what it is though, it's maybe because I keep thinking about Super Mario 64 DS for some reason. That's the reason why I keep thinking about the camera angle to smash to... Oh, so close! So close to able to actually get this right. Okay, I'm gonna have to able to stop acting like a, an idiot for able to not, mess things around in the lava. There we go. At least despite I just took a bit of damage, but... Oh, I can't believe that camera angle just managed to mess me up at points. But then again though, some people really wish if that would be the quality of life improvements for the camera controls, but they still have not fixed it, so... Oh well though, not the end of the world honestly. But there we go, we've basically managed to complete it, Lethal Lava Land, so that's 4 worlds fully completed. So, despite the fact that we actually did manage to collect 1 star for certain worlds for that matter, so... Anyways, I think we do get enough time to do the next world, so, mind you, I'm probably only gonna do about a few missions. So, mission 1, in the Talons of the Big Bird, in course number 8, Shifting Sandland. Although, mind you, that particular stage can also contain the most annoying 100 coin Power Star mission sometimes. Although, it won't be that much of an issue, I don't think, because obviously I did manage to play this game loads of times, including the DS remake, so I can usually capable of doing stuff like this no problem, so... Hopefully without any, like, well, some trial and error situations like this. So, anyway, let's just go ahead and wait for that Clubdo just managed to able to come here and towards me. Even though, mind you, that he's pretty much gonna have to fly around on that 1 pillar, so I'm just gonna have to fly straight towards it if I can. Just like so. And then the star will obviously just manage to able to appear just right in between those 2 pillars, as you can see, so... Yeah, pretty easy, and I somehow accidentally bypassed the star, but that's okay, because we now reached to 60 Power Stars. So I believe we're now onto the halfway point in terms of Super Mario 64 game on the likes of Super Mario 3D All-Stars version. Well, it's still basically, it's like the Shindu version, I think, so... mission 2, shining atop the pyramid, so... there's actually multiple ways you can do in this mission. Like, you can either do it casually, or you can able to do it the hardcore way, like I was gonna do right now, by able to ride on this turtle shell or Koopa shell, and able to skip the entire platforming segments from here, and jump from there, and you get a star no problem. Or, alternatively, you can also use the wing cap as well, which is basically the same thing, except you can able to fly straight towards it. So, there we go. Easy, self-explanatory, done. Mission 3, inside the ancient pyramid. So now we need to go inside the pyramid. And I think also, I might decide to able to go for the 100 coin power star mission as well. So hopefully we're able to try to take care of the forms of not only for certain red coins, but also trying to grab as many coins on the outside portion and also in the inside portion as well. So it's kind of like the same thing for Lethal Lava Land, and except the fact that, relatively speaking, in Lethal Lava Land is basically it's like a lava-themed level, and in the forms of this level, Shifting Sandlands is like a desert, so pretty standard stuff. Although, there's actually that one particular Let's Play I was curious to try out, which appears to be by the forms of Super Mario 63, which appears to be like the a Flash game, which is almost inspired by not only for the combination of well, not only is this entirely based off from Super Mario 64, but also it's like a combination of, well, let's just say several mechanics from the likes of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, which, as a result, because obviously in Super Mario 63, did manage to have the gameplay style from Super Mario 64, and the mechanics to able to contain them from the likes of Super Mario Sunshine for the flood and everything, and also the Sling Star or the actual Launch Star sequences in Super Mario Galaxy. Well, I would able to do that, but unfortunately though, my game, especially noticeable when I did manage to do my test recording, it really lags a lot. So it might be not as pleasant able to look at, especially noticeable that you remember back in the forms of in, well, let's just say in 2 years ago, we did manage to did on a Let's Play of Super Monkey Ball Touch and Roll for the DS, despite the fact that we actually played the game on an emulator, and it runs like, well, it runs okay, but unfortunately though, the music slows down a lot, and that also applies on Kirby Superstar Ultra, which that is usually about a year ago whenever we did that Let's Play. In fact, talking of which of Kirby actually though, is the fact that during the forms of this year, that alongside with Disney film Aladdin, you know, with the actual animated version that most everyone seemed to love, including myself, and oh wow, that was actually a close call. I'm almost gonna get myself screwed over by almost get synced into the actual sinkhole. So thankfully that does not seem the case by able to actually get instant death from that. So that's cool, yo, for me. So anyways, let's do this crazy box thingy right here to, like, you know, grab as more coins as we wanted to. So anyway, in addition with how the fact that for this year, in addition to where basically not only the Disney film Aladdin from 1992 will be 30 years old, but also Kirby, as far as the main character himself, Kirby, the pink puffball, basically that that particular series will become 30 years old as well. Could it possibly be about the fact that with Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the 3D Kirby game is about to coming out for the Nintendo Switch at some point this spring, that it might actually be marks the 30th anniversary of the Kirby series, I imagine? Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens there, maybe until next month, or later down the road, but then again, we'll have to wait and find out. Because it's a bit too early for able to predict at the moment, because we're still on the first month of 2022, so, but I digress. And also another thing as well, that relatively speaking, that also during that year, that Kingdom Hearts is obviously getting its 20th anniversary in this year as well, so yeah, that's, well, double the excitement, I suppose. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to those anniversaries for the sake of 3 of my favorite stuff of all time, which are Aladdin, the animated version, and also the Kirby franchises I'm now extremely excited for, and of course the Kingdom Hearts games as well, so that I'm also really into as well. So Anyway, oh yeah, talking of which, when it comes to Aladdin though, I will say that the animated version of Aladdin is actually a lot more better than the live-action awkward version, because, the only problem I have with the live-action version of Aladdin though, for me though, is that sometimes it feels a bit awkward in certain scenes, and also, that, I do appreciate about the fact that Will Smith as the genie is actually a alright choice, but the actual character designs though, it just feels kind of out of place. At least to me though anyway. Although I will say, I'll take Robin Williams any day for the genie as the actual character for the sake of not only for his personality, but also with the forms of comic relief kind of characters and stuff like that, and even the acting is remarkably well done back in 1992. In fact, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. Which specific version of Aladdin do you prefer? Do you prefer the original 1992 animated film? Or do you prefer the live-action counterpart in 2019? Because I'd like to hear your thoughts, comments down below. So, yeah, for the sake of the question of the day today. Because, talking of which though actually, I haven't done that much of question of the day for some time. Mainly because I just somehow got distracted by other things, potentially speaking. So, hopefully I'll get around into that at some point, maybe, just maybe, that maybe entering at some point whenever we do some more Let's Plays in particular. In fact, talking of which, when it comes to more Let's Plays in general, that I've decided able to actually change my mind for the sake of the forms of original plans for, like, uploading schedules on Super Mario 3D All-Stars itself. Basically, originally we were expecting to able to actually do the entire collection itself for about, like, 4 months straight, but I've decided able to, like, separate those particular games apart, like, in the entire compilation, because you remember back in Informed Event last year, that, I believe Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel did manage to tackle through Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury back in last year. Because I believe they did done the Super Mario 3D World portion back in Informed in August in 2021, whilst in forms of Bowser's Fury, they saved it up until in October. I feel like I was gonna do the same thing for the 3D All-Stars game, because for this month, I'm gonna be focusing on Super Mario 64 portion of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, but until likely the next few months, then I can probably able to take a break on the entire compilation and focusing on something else, and then basically we'll save Super Mario Sunshine for another time. And as far as I'm aware, for Super Mario Galaxy, I think suffice to say, we'll pretty much get out to tackle for that. Maybe at some point during the summer, or in autumn, if depending on certain situations. And what the hell? Did I clip through that? Okay, that was a bit weird. But usually despite the fact I ground pounded there, but oh well. But anyways, what really matters, I got myself my... Can you grab the power star, please? Thank you. Hey, that was relatively a close one, because I'm almost gonna get myself screwed if I don't fell off to that sinkhole. But anyway, let's get that power star itself. And speaking of 63, look at that. We've got 63 power stars so far. And suffice to say, I think I should probably ending stuff at this point right here. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario 3D All-Stars from the likes of Super Mario 64 game. That is the fact that we'll potentially finishing up with Shifting Sandland, and eventually we'll move on to the next world and kick Bowser's butt for the second time. So I'll see you guys on Friday. Later, fellas.